Hi everyone, you join me on the bench here today just as I'm doing a bit of messing about here and there. And I've been messing about with this Vorsk, trying to determine which direction I go with it now. You might notice a couple of things. I've removed that newer style Mark 18 handguard. I've took off this thing, which it has a 4mm Allen key screw in there. So you take a 4mm Allen key driver, but because this grip is so thin, all of the drivers that I've got that are 4mm can't reach that far down. So all I did was I grabbed a T25, which I have, which fits as well, and just has a little bit of a longer stem on it to remove this most hideous grip ever. Now, this isn't going to remain on here. I've just put it on there because it's the only grip that I've got handy that will go straight on, because all my grips have the tangs on the back. So this is just one I grabbed out the bits box. It's off the Rattler, and I'll be changing that out in future. I've also took off that MTW stock. This is the one off the Aeronox. Again, just a placeholder. I need to find some kind of PDW spec stock or something for that. But more importantly, I've removed the mag release. I've removed that rail. I've split apart the barrel. And what we're going to be doing today is, for time being, like, I will get a new inner barrel for this, but you'll see with the VMP, it has this two-part barrel system, which is the biggest what the hell ever. But we're just going to remove that just so it's not sticking out and being garish. So what I've done is I've removed the rail. This is a barrel nut off of one of my Dytac SLR rails, which the Dytac MWS that we were building, we took the small rail off, which was this one, and gave it the SD rail. So we can plug this in here and just slide this on like so. And I think this is the rail that I'm going to use. I've got it spare. It's nice and short, which I wanted to go short with this thing. I'm trying to make this into a fun gun to use. So we will go shorter on the handguard. But the problem with that is, if you remember, the outer barrel was about this long, which you do have like a barrel base, which they then just screw the different barrel lengths into. So all I did was I took that and I've just machined it down on the lathe. So I've cut it down. I've give it a relief cut so any barrel accessories will be able to screw all the way down, and give it a 14mm counterclockwise thread. And we can just screw this back in now, and it should terminate right at the end of the rail. So it's literally perfectly in line. So I don't tend to measure things. What I tend to do is I'll just get the barrel, I'll put it on there, and I'll just get a file and I'll just skim it and then put it on the lathe and hope for the best. And most of the time, like 99% of the time, it goes without a problem. So you might be asking why we've took this off, and that is because I've bought a VMP HPA adapter. Now, the one thing I will say about these adapters is the lines are usually a bit of an issue, because it will want to get in the way of our firing hand, but this will just go in here like that, and basically just give us, so we can chuck an M4 mag in. And the only reason I've done this is because I don't really care too much about this build, so I'm just having fun with it. It's not realistic by any means. I'll be running it on EPM1 mags, but here's a P mag just so you can see. It's just like a tiny little M4. Kind of looks a little bit AK-ish, but the stock will be shortened down. We'll give a PDW style stock on there. I've got a nice shortened handguard now, just enough to get my hand on. And we can actually give this thing a blast on the HPA. So hopefully this gives us a little bit more fun to play with. In fact, what I'll do first, let me grab a gas mag and we'll compare the differences. Right, got a little gas mag, semi-auto, full auto. You can't really hear that, but the gas is just venting everywhere. So Not a lot of fun at all, really. So we do have to remove that thumb, like finger grooved, finger actuated mag release, so that this adapter will go in. And now what we can do is, because this isn't a realistic build like, you know, a lot of my other gas guns, this is hopefully a way to make this fun to use. But now we can plug the air in, and we should have unlimited unlimited flow. So let's see what's going on. Gives it a much more metallic, cleaner sound. And it feels like it kicks a lot better as well. So semi-auto, we can just have some fun with it, but you'll want to see the full auto, don't you? So on full auto, this was working earlier. I don't know why it's playing up now. Let's see what we got the pressure set to. Maybe we have that a little high. So let's turn it down. Let's bleed some air off. We'll go to 100 psi. On the other tank, this was working fine, so maybe the pressure, I've just got a fresh tank and the pressure's a bit too much, but yeah, it's tripping itself up a little bit, and I don't know why. That's on the fresh tank. Let's plug it into the old tank. Now this tank only has a little bit of pressure in it. So let's screw this back on and give this a go. Still the same, it's sort of tripping itself up a little bit. Which is odd, because it ran fine before. So what we can do, we can go a little bit higher on the pressure. So let's go to 120. It's usually a happy medium for gas blowbacks. It could be the valve set we've got in there. So what we could really do with is giving it a chrono. I don't got any ammo, so we'll have to, what we can do, if the power is too low or too high, I've got a bunch of these VMP nozzles, some that are wide open, some that have various restrictors in. So we might just have to set that, because we're going to a much shorter barrel, or we will be. So we're going to lose velocity, so we're going to have to bump up the flow through rate. So we might end up having to go to the high power valve and then just dial it in a little bit with the pressure. But excuse me. Right, don't know what's going on there. Let's go down pressure. Let's see what happens. So we've got 50, 60, 70, 80 psi. Just try that, see if it's any better. Maybe we just want to put a little bit of lube on these gas routers. Might be a bit dry, it is a very warm day. I'm baffled really, because that's obviously far too low pressure. But yeah, it baffles me, because it was running absolutely fine before. We're going to go back to 120. So no longer got that nice loud. So it's not really, feels like it hasn't really got the pressure. Yeah, just a little bit inconsistent. Odd, because again, like I say, I tested this earlier when I got the adapter. I threw it in there and it was really, really pokey. What we could probably try is, let's just try putting this barrel on. We'll see if it makes any difference. It might do. Might just be how it was. It might just want a bit more pressure. I'm not sure what these AirTac adapters can take. We're about 120. Let's go up to 125. Might just want a little bit more. Does feel a little bit better. It might not come through the camera to you guys, but it's like I've got very distinct differences in sound to the ear. That sounds loads better. It almost has got like this sound of, like, when you see certain firearms in the US, they have a very distinct sound when they're suppressed, and I'm wondering, have we got a suppressor we can throw on? Let's just throw one of these on, because I will run it with a suppressor, probably with a tracer unit in it. We've got an STFU here. You never know, this might be the suppressor that we run, but very, very chunky suppressor here. It kind of sounds like a suppressed 22. It's very, very distinctive, but we probably won't ever really use the full auto. You get that, so we do see similar issues, or I have seen similar issues like this with both AirTac and TAP airsoft adapters. Sometimes they throw a wobbly, but we could probably, you know, take the valve out, just make sure that's nice and lubed. I could probably try and put a little bit of lube down there and try and work it into the valve. Might be a bit dry. But yeah, I've always found that with, you know, HPA adapters, that you see people using them on the internet and they're always super consistent, and I've just never really found it. Now, it could be because of the VMP. Yeah, not really, now it's not wanting to do full auto at all. Very strange. The pressure has risen up slightly, which is weird. Let's try and reduce that back down. Go back to 120. It could just be a VMP thing, to be honest. It could have nothing to do with the adapter. The VMP hasn't really been the most consistent. Now, it was plenty accurate when we tried it, but it's doing it on the gas mag as well, so we're getting like high power and low power shots, so it could be something going on in the bolt and we're just chasing our tail when it's actually maybe like a lubrication thing. Now, I have just found another grip, so we could go with like a Hogue like that. And I have bought a bunch of these from the US, these and for the ARs and the AKs, which will be going up on the store when we get the Kung Fu order. Maybe we go to that as well. I mean, the Rattler grip is nice and small. However, if you do have fairly big hands, it can feel like you're just trying to hold on to the grip for your life, because your hands are slipping off the side. So let's try this Hogue. Let's see if this is any better. I really do like Hogues, but usually I find that they're better suited to like DMRs or big rifles because of like the angle. So I think what I'll eventually end up doing is it is really comfortable. I don't think it suits this build. I think with something being so short, you need a vertical grip. So maybe we go to something like a K2 or inevitably a Kung Fu, because I really do love that grip. But let me know what you think we should do with the stock. At least I've figured out the front end now. I do kind of like it with the STFU on there, but we've got plenty of stock. I mean, a suppressor on a gas blowback isn't really going to do much at all. So we'd probably want to run some kind of tracer unit. And I have recently bought like a bunch of tracer units. I spent like 500 quid's worth on getting a load of PTS cans, and we could run something like this. This is their Griffin R22, I think it is. Spin this off the flash hider here. So we could run something like this, and then it does bottom out on the threads, so I could just trim that thread down a little bit. We could run something like that, and then we'd have a can on there that's a tracer unit. I just think I like chunky tracer units, if I'm honest. So we could go to the extreme, because I bought the R22, I bought the Griffin M4SD, I bought the Sandman, which you'll probably be seeing coming up soon on the URGI build when we do the gauntlet. And last but not least, their PBS style. So I originally bought this for the AK-12. I'm not sure if that ridge section will fit over the outer barrel. Soon find out here. Oh, it does as well. It's almost like a perfect fit. Maybe we run this. I don't know. It just, to me, when you look at PBSs, they really do deserve to be, just loosen the barrel off. They really do deserve to be on AKs, if I'm honest. So we're getting somewhere with the VMP. I need to have a look at what's going on in the bolt. Maybe it's just super dry. Like I said, it hasn't been the most consistent platform, but it's worth taking a look further. At least now, with this replica, I've got a direction that I'm going in, because I was losing faith with it, if I'm all honest. So short front end done, HPA adapter done. Grip is an easy one when I get a chance to do it. I think we'll have to wait for the Kung Fu delivery to turn up. Got rid of this thing, which is absolutely atrocious. Got rid of this thing, which is absolutely atrocious, which I will be putting a new inner barrel in and a new hot rubber. This stock needs to go. Ideas on a postcard in the comments down below what stock you think I should go with. I think it needs to be something either very small, like a slider, or maybe just get the rail adapter and have a fold-in stock. I know they do a fold-in stock for this, but I'm not a massive fan of how it looks and feels. So yeah, there we go. I'm kind of just slowly turning this into one of the short models that they released, but we'll get there eventually. So thanks for tuning in. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know down in the comments below what you think, if you have any artistic direction you think we should take with this thing. And as always, from me and Bench, we'll be seeing you in the next one.